As we speak, countless older adults are walking around with a liver overwhelmed by fat, and they are completely unaware. It isn't due to heavy drinking, and it isn't because of poor lifestyle choices. Instead, the initial red flags are so incredibly faint and easy to brush off that most folks write them down to simple aging. Even physicians frequently overlook them when running standard blood panels. What you are going to learn over the next few minutes has the power to genuinely alter your health timeline, because a fatty liver will not stay quiet forever. Once it finally decides to grab your attention, severe harm might already be present. Stick around until the very end of this video, because the ultimate symptom I will reveal, which affects over 60% of people with this condition, is something almost nobody links back to their liver. Whenever I quiz my clinic patients about it, 0 people suspect their liver is to blame. Not a single one. I am Arthur Sterling, a medical professional focusing on senior health, bringing over 15 years of dedicated clinical practice to the table. I have treated thousands of older adults, witnessing firsthand how this hidden issue silently drains vitality, mental sharpness, mobility, and freedom from folks who simply believed they were getting older. What I'm about to tell you shatters the widely held myth that fatty liver is strictly a condition of heavy drinkers or the severely obese. I have diagnosed it in lifelong marathon runners. I have seen it in individuals who have never tasted a drop of liquor, and I simply cannot keep quiet about what both clinical studies and my own exam room are revealing. You have the right to know this. Before diving in, if you feel this information could benefit someone you care about, go ahead and tap that like button right now. It signals to me that this topic resonates with you, and it pushes this video out to those who desperately need to hear it. Let us break down what is actually going on inside your body right now. The crucial thing many overlook is that your liver is not merely a filter for toxins. It is the metabolic powerhouse of your system. It handles everything you consume, regulates your glucose, builds essential proteins for your immune system, and cleanses roughly 1.5 liters of your blood every single minute. Every single minute. When fat starts building up inside those liver cells, and it only takes a mere 5% fat accumulation to be diagnosed with fatty liver disease, that powerhouse begins to stall. Inflammation takes root, cellular operations degrade, and your body starts whispering its warnings. Quiet warnings, but warnings nonetheless. After age 60, the situation gets significantly riskier. Your liver's ability to heal itself slows down. Changing hormones, specifically the decline of estrogen in women and testosterone in men, alter the way your body handles and stores fat. Furthermore, your gut bacteria, which talk directly to your liver through what experts call the gut-liver axis, undergo age-related shifts. This combination creates an ideal environment for fat to pack into liver tissue. And according to data from major hepatology journals, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease currently impacts roughly 1/4 of the global adult population, with a sharp spike among seniors. What truly alarms me is that this is not an isolated issue. When the liver struggles, the whole system struggles. Glucose control fails, cholesterol profiles shift into dangerous territory, blood pressure spikes, and mental clarity vanishes. The link between cardiovascular disease and fatty liver is so undeniable today that medical literature views them as deeply interconnected. This is a total body emergency unfolding in slow motion. So I will guide you through 7 stealthy signs of a fatty liver you might be experiencing right now without realizing it. We are counting down from the mildest to the most alarming. For every point, I will explain the internal mechanisms, the scientific backing, and your action steps. Let us begin. Symptom number 7. Relentless exhaustion that sleep cannot fix. You get a solid 8 hours of rest, catch a daytime snooze, yet still feel utterly drained. This isn't your standard post-work fatigue. I am talking about a profound, mind-numbing, heavy-limbed weariness that clings to your bones no matter how long you stay in bed. Countless seniors brush this off as a natural part of aging. It absolutely is not. Here's the biological reality. A liver packed with fat loses its ability to efficiently transform stored glycogen into usable glucose. Consequently, your cells miss out on the consistent fuel supply they require to run properly. Simultaneously, an ailing liver pumps out higher levels of inflammatory cytokines, chemical messengers that trick your immune system into a constant state of high alert. Your brain reads this chronic low-level inflammation as an ongoing battle against an infection. Waging an invisible war all day, every day, is profoundly draining. Geriatric research shows that up to 65% of individuals diagnosed with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease experience this deep fatigue, and crucially, it often surfaces long before standard liver enzyme tests show any detectable abnormalities. That is a vital point. It means the exhaustion hits before your blood work looks bad, before your doctor sees a reason to dig deeper. How should you use this knowledge? If your fatigue ignores good sleep habits, do not just tolerate it. Request a liver ultrasound from your physician, as it can pinpoint the fat buildup that standard AST and ALT blood markers frequently miss in the early phases. An ultrasound remains the absolute gold standard for early detection. Before moving to the next sign, let me ask you a quick question. How is your morning energy? Do you rise feeling rejuvenated, or do you wake up feeling like you never slept at all? Drop the word tired or rested in the comments. I read every single one, and your feedback gives me insight into what my viewers are dealing with. Symptom number 6, mild upper right abdominal ache or a sensation of fullness. This warning sign is incredibly faint, leading many to simply ignore it. We aren't talking about sharp, agonizing pain, but rather a dull pressure, a vague heaviness, or a subtle bloating right under your right rib cage. It might flare up post-meal, or it might just linger in the background, a quiet discomfort you have trained yourself to live with. Your liver resides in that upper right quadrant. As fat swells the liver cells, the entire organ physically expands. It pushes against the sensitive tissue capsule encasing it. That capsule is lined with pain receptors, and when it stretches, it fires off a signal. It is rarely a massive red flag, usually just a dull pressure that is easy to mistake for indigestion, gas, or a heavy dinner. Major medical literature notes that around 40% of fatty liver patients report this vague ache, often suffering for months or even years without linking it back to their liver. Here is a crucial detail often missed. This dull pain can actually radiate to your right shoulder or upper back because the liver shares nerve pathways with those regions. So, if you are battling weird right shoulder tension or upper back aches without a clear muscle injury, your liver could be raising a flag. A pro tip for you: notice if this pressure intensifies after eating greasy foods or drinking even a little alcohol. That specific pattern is a major warning sign you need to bring up at your next doctor's appointment. Symptom number 5, climbing blood sugar levels and mounting insulin resistance. This is where the situation becomes incredibly important for the older adults watching today. Your liver acts as a master controller for your body's glucose levels. When fat invades, those liver cells turn resistant to insulin. They stop answering the hormonal command to take in sugar. In response, your pancreas works overtime to compensate, pumping out extra insulin. Your glucose numbers rise, and what your physician might label as prediabetes or type 2 diabetes on your lab work could actually be a direct downstream result of a fatty liver, rather than the primary issue itself. Comprehensive medical studies demonstrate that folks with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease face a staggering 70% increased risk of developing type 2 diabetes compared to those with healthy livers. 70%. And the incredible silver lining here is that by treating and reversing the fatty liver, insulin sensitivity frequently bounces back in a big way. Under medical guidance, this sometimes allows patients to lower or even drop their diabetes medications. I witness this scenario constantly in my own practice. A patient arrives trying to manage borderline glucose readings. We pivot our attention to the liver, we clear up their metabolic health, and suddenly those rising sugar levels stabilize and drop. Not because we attacked the blood sugar directly, but because we tackled the root cause. If you are in your 60s or 70s and noticing your blood glucose creeping up on every annual lab report, please question your doctor about whether fatty liver could be the culprit. This connection is wildly underappreciated in standard primary care. Symptom number 4, baffling weight gain, specifically focused around the midsection. Your eating habits haven't shifted. Your workout routine remains exactly the same. Yet the pounds continue to pile on, mostly in your belly area. Your pants are getting tighter regardless of how hard you try. Does this ring a bell? Countless older individuals view this as just an unavoidable part of getting older. It is absolutely not unavoidable, and very often your liver is the main culprit. Let's look at the biology. A liver bogged down by fat has a tough time breaking down the fats you eat and maintaining lipid equilibrium. It also churns out extra triglycerides, which are bundled up and stashed away in your fat stores, especially as visceral fat wrapping your internal organs, that stubborn, highly hazardous abdominal fat. Concurrently, an impaired liver fails to efficiently filter out surplus estrogen from your blood. For both men and women past 60, this hormonal imbalance can trigger fat storage that feels maddeningly immune to clean eating and physical activity. Studies in major nutrition journals confirm that deep belly fat and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease are locked in a two-way street. The abdominal fat degrades the liver, and the compromised liver packs on more abdominal fat. It is a vicious loop that refuses to snap until you target the liver itself. Let me tell you about Patricia, a 68-year-old former teacher from Chicago. She walked into my clinic feeling entirely defeated. For 3 solid years, she did everything by the book. She walked 5 mornings a week. She eliminated junk food. She ate a salad for lunch without fail. Yet, her waistline continued to expand. She packed on almost 14 pounds over a year and a half while keeping her lifestyle pristine. Her old physician simply blamed it on menopause and the passing years. The moment I requested an ultrasound of her abdomen, the picture came into sharp focus. Moderate fatty liver buildup. Her own organ was sabotaging her. Every single attempt to drop pounds was blocked by a liver completely unable to process fat properly or manage the hormones dictating where the body stashes its reserves. I started Patricia on a customized regimen to rescue her liver. We dialed in exact foods, precise meal timing, and a clinically proven supplement I will detail for you a bit later. By her 6-week checkup, she had dropped 7 pounds without altering anything else in her routine. She looked at me and said, "Doctor, I truly believed I was merely aging. I figured my body had just made this choice. I never realized my liver was actively battling against me." That was her breakthrough. No magic tricks, simply addressing the true underlying cause. But it went far beyond the scale. Patricia reported an energy surge she hadn't experienced in over a decade, far better sleep quality, and the disappearance of that constant physical heaviness she thought was her new normal. You can absolutely achieve these identical results once you uncover what is genuinely happening inside you. If this knowledge is opening your eyes, please hit the subscribe button right now. My core purpose is delivering genuine, science-based health strategies to adults past 60 who are owed honest answers, rather than a quick dismissal from their doctor. Also, take a second to share this video with a loved one. One tiny click from you could literally alter the course of their health. I'm not exaggerating when I say that. Symptom number 3, mental fogginess, memory slips, and trouble holding your focus. This particular sign shocks my patients every single time I mention it. You might wonder, how does the liver connect to the brain? The reality is, they are entirely intertwined, much more than anyone suspects. An optimal liver constantly scrubs ammonia and various waste materials straight out of your blood. The second your liver's filtering power drops, even slightly, these toxins start piling up. They breach the blood-brain barrier and scramble your neurotransmitters. In the worst-case scenario, this triggers a severe condition known as hepatic encephalopathy. However, during the initial stages of a fatty liver, you suffer through a milder, ongoing version of that exact issue. You get brain fog, sluggish thoughts, trouble grasping the right word, missed appointments, and an inability to concentrate on reading or chatting. Recent clinical nutrition research revealed that individuals battling non-alcoholic fatty liver disease score substantially lower on brain function tests touching on memory, processing speed, and executive tasks. The crucial takeaway is that these mental struggles faded away once their liver health was addressed. Passing age 60, most folks just chalk up a slipping memory to growing old, or they panic about early onset dementia. Yet a massive portion of older adults dealing with mental fog are actually suffering from liver-induced inflammation impacting their brain tissue. We are no longer just talking about an organ. We are talking about your intellect, your self-reliance, and your power to remain alert and engaged with your family. Take James, a 74-year-old former engineer out of Boston. He arrived at my clinic with his worried daughter. She explained, "My father was always the quickest guy around. He engineered airplane parts for 3 decades, but lately, he forgets chats we had just yesterday. He would constantly trail off mid-sentence." James was heartbroken. He whispered to me, "Doctor, I am terrified my mind is giving out on me." His routine blood panels looked completely fine, but I ran an ultrasound alongside a fasting insulin check. Both pointed clearly to fatty liver disease coupled with insulin resistance. I crafted a recovery plan aimed entirely at healing his liver. Fast forward 8 weeks, and James walked through my doors completely solo. No daughter required. He sat in the chair, locked eyes with me, and stated, "I am back. The clouds have parted. I completed a crossword puzzle last week for the first time in 2 years. That might seem minor, but for me, it was monumental." And he was right. It was a massive victory. If you or a loved one are battling mysterious cognitive hiccups, please demand a liver evaluation before assuming your mind is permanently fading. Moving on to a symptom that is going to stun almost everyone listening. Symptom number 2, unusual alterations in your skin, such as yellow tints, darkened spots, or strange textures. Your skin serves as a massive communication channel for your liver's health. When your liver is struggling, your skin broadcasts the problem. Watch out for 3 distinct dermatological red flags. Number 1 is jaundice, a faint yellow hue in your complexion, or the whites of your eyes. This happens when bilirubin, a waste material a strong liver easily dumps, starts piling up. As fat suffocates the liver cells, bilirubin floods your bloodstream and settles in your body's tissues. Consider this an advanced distress signal that requires immediate medical attention. The second warning, which almost everyone overlooks, is known medically as acanthosis nigricans. These look like dark, velvety, thick patches hiding in your body's creases, along the back of your neck, under your arms, or inside your elbow joints. People routinely ignore them or write them off as harmless age spots. Yet, these dark patches are a glaring physical symptom of insulin resistance. Knowing how closely insulin resistance is tied to a fatty liver, these marks are often a neon sign of liver trouble. The third sign is spider angiomas. These look like tiny, red, web-like bursts of blood vessels sitting just under your skin, mostly on the upper chest, arms, or neck. Finding just one is usually no big deal, but if a cluster of them appears all at once, you need your liver checked. Aging research confirms that these specific skin manifestations show up in nearly 40% of people with fatty liver, serving as one of the very first outward clues of internal organ distress. Here's an expert tip. Next time you look in the mirror, inspect your armpits and the nape of your neck for any of those dark, textured patches you might have been ignoring. Scan your upper torso for little red, spider-like vessels. Do not treat these as mere cosmetic annoyances. They are urgent messages from your biology, and they deserve to be taken seriously. Right before we unveil the number 1 symptom, the issue affecting upwards of 60% of sufferers that nobody traces back to their liver, I have a quick question. Have you noticed any of the warning signs we have covered today? The unshakable fatigue, the stubborn belly fat, the mental cloudiness, or the odd skin marks? If this is hitting close to home, type the word yes in the comment section. If you are just here soaking up knowledge, type the word learning. I truly rely on your answers to grasp what my audience is battling. And with that, we arrive at the absolute top hidden sign of a fatty liver. Symptom number 1, broken sleep, specifically waking up between 1 and 3 o'clock in the morning. I know, that probably caught you completely off guard. When my patients mention this middle of the night awakening, they point the finger at their bladder, their stress levels, or simply the passing years. I get it. But modern research and ancient medical wisdom are now perfectly aligned on this exact phenomenon. The bulk of your liver's heavy lifting and cellular repair happens right between 1 and 3 in the morning. Here's the science behind it. Your liver isn't just a passive filter. It operates on a strict internal clock, perfectly timed to your sleep cycles. During your deepest slumber, it shifts into overdrive to clear out lipids, scrub metabolic trash, and reset your inflammatory responses for the coming day. But when the organ is choked with fat and inflammation, this nocturnal routine breaks down. The metabolic load overwhelms the system. Cortisol levels shoot up, blood sugar swings, and your nervous system detects the internal chaos, jolting you awake. Studies in applied physiology show that folks with fatty liver suffer from severely fractured sleep patterns and a lack of deep, restorative rest. Another review noted that up to 64% of fatty liver patients battle poor sleep, specifically pinpointing early morning wake-ups without any logical reason. In our 60s and beyond, we routinely write this off as prostate trouble, menopausal echoes, or standard aging. Those factors certainly play a role, but this liver link is incredibly real, scientifically proven, and almost entirely ignored. Consider Dorothy, a 71-year-old retired librarian from Minneapolis. For 4 long years, she bolted awake between 1 and 2 in the morning, stared at the ceiling for an hour or two, and then fell into a shallow, useless doze. By mid-morning, she was running on empty. Her physician handed her sleeping pills, which numbed her anxiety about being awake, but did absolutely nothing to stop the waking itself. She came to my office on a friend's recommendation, arriving highly skeptical. She told me she had already tried everything. When I suggested her liver was the culprit interrupting her sleep, she actually chuckled in surprise. We ran an ultrasound, revealing moderate fatty infiltration, and checked her fasting insulin, which came back elevated. I put together a plan targeting her evening meals, specific nutrient timing, and one major dietary shift to ease the liver's burden overnight. 3 weeks later, she sent me a message. She wrote, "Arthur, I slept straight through the night for the first time in 4 years. I sat in my kitchen at 7 in the morning and wept because I finally remembered what it felt like to be rested. I have my life back." It wasn't a pill that cured Dorothy. It was fixing the exact organ driving the disturbance. If you find yourself consistently staring at the clock at 2 in the morning and sleep aids are failing you, please ask your physician to investigate your liver. Request that ultrasound and a fasting insulin check. You deserve to know what is really going on. Now here is the exact protocol you can start implementing tomorrow to fight back. First, begin your day with a glass of warm water mixed with the juice of half a lemon before consuming anything else. This simple, free 30-second habit jumpstarts bile production and supports your liver's morning metabolic reset. Second, slash or entirely eliminate refined sugars and high fructose corn syrup. These are the absolute biggest dietary culprits behind liver fat. Recent clinical data showed that just cutting out added sugar lowered liver fat by up to 32% in seniors within 8 weeks. That is a massive reduction. Third, get cruciferous vegetables on your dinner plate at least 4 days a week. Things like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, and cabbage are packed with sulforaphane, a compound that flips a switch in your liver to break down fat. Studies show a 26% drop in liver fat for adults eating these daily. Next, construct your evening meals around protein and fiber, drastically cutting back on carbohydrates. This lowers the insulin and glucose spike hitting your liver right before bed, freeing up its energy for crucial nighttime repairs. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, if you sit most of the day, start walking. Just 15 to 20 minutes daily, not to lose weight, but to save your liver. Brisk walking flips on a cellular energy sensor called AMPK, which commands your liver cells to burn fat. Walking turns it on. Sitting all day turns it off. Avoid these major pitfalls. Do not skip breakfast in an attempt to burn more fat, as harsh fasting actually stresses an older, fatty liver. Do not take random liver supplements without medical guidance, as they can interact badly with your prescriptions. Do not wait for your symptoms to become unbearable before taking action, because the window to reverse this is widest right now, and entirely avoid alcohol until your liver is healed, as even a tiny amount rapidly accelerates the damage. Here is the timeline you can expect if you follow this path. In week 1, most folks see a slight bump in daytime energy and smoother sleep. By week 2, the mental fog starts clearing out and the morning exhaustion fades. Around week 4 to 6, we typically see hard proof on follow-up ultrasounds and improved blood work. And by the 3-month mark, significant reversal of fatty liver is entirely possible and clinically documented. Your body desperately wants to recover. The liver is unique in its power to regenerate itself, but it needs you to stop tossing fuel on the fire, clear the hurdles, offer the proper support, and prepare to be amazed by what your body can do. You are not broken. Your information was just incomplete. Today, we change that. Let's do a quick recap of the 7 stealth signs of fatty liver. Number 7, unyielding exhaustion. Number 6, a vague pressure in your upper right abdomen. Number 5, climbing blood sugar or insulin resistance. Number 4, stubborn belly fat despite your best efforts. Number 3, mental fog and memory glitches. Number 2, unusual skin changes like dark patches or spider veins. And number 1, waking up every single night between 1 and 3 in the morning. Having one of these doesn't guarantee you have a fatty liver, but any combination of them means you need to have a serious talk with your doctor. That could be the most vital conversation you have all year. My challenge for you is to book that appointment this week. Ask specifically for the ultrasound and the fasting insulin test. Refuse to accept exhaustion, a foggy brain, or a growing belly as just a normal part of getting older. You are in control here. Your body is flashing warning lights, and now you know how to read them. If this video brought you value, please crush that like button right now. It helps me immensely and tells the algorithm this crucial data is worth sharing. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, because every single week I deliver targeted, science-backed health strategies for adults over 60. And please share this video. Think of one person struggling with mystery fatigue, weight gain, or terrible sleep, and send this to them. You might be handing them the exact answer they have been praying for. Now, I want to hear from you. Out of these 7 signs, which one shocked you the most? Which one felt like looking in a mirror? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one, and your journey matters. Remember, aging doesn't guarantee a downward spiral. It just means your body requires a different level of attention. Provide that attention, and it will reward you with your life back. Take care of yourself.